And welcome to another edition of the Tea Time with the T-Bone. So much stuff going on. Let's get in the corner down there at the bottom. You're going to see you can type something in if you have a question kind of stuff. Tonight, though, first we're going to talk just a little bit of a recap of some of the stuff going on. Okay, because we talked about a little bit earlier on the show today, and not everything's really got explained exactly the way that it is. So, okay, so what part to begin on? Now, let's start talking about pretty much the fall of America. What's going on right now? Okay, now here's the deal: is the whole coin and cash system. Now they're saying coin, there's a shortage and that kind of stuff, and of course there is. The big thing happened with the pandemic, and that was the fact that everybody was shopping online. So that turned around and less cash was getting passed around. So the mint wasn't sending as much money to the banks because a lot of banks, they weren't open and stuff like that. Some of them are still, you can't get into the lobby. Now you can get the change and that stuff. Now, a long time ago, years ago, all right, the United States already was planning, actually, I would say it was put into the best interest of the United States from what some people call the New World Order, that there need to be only one currency for the whole entire world. See, now this is when then they started making for coin collectors these special coins and that stuff, like the quarters. You had the all 50 states, the United States, which you had from all the mints for making ones in the coal bowls to collect them all. Then they had the national parks for the quarters and American territories. They did a special Thomas Jefferson one, which you look on the back of them. It has all different parts of Jefferson's story. Same way with the pennies with Abraham Lincoln. The whole deal was to get people to collect these and stuff and to hold on to them, make them that they're going to be some sort of collectible at some time. And and so some of them were flawed. So you get more people to look for it, to try to find these ones and say this is one. Like there's a quarter for the state of Kansas that the buffalo on it has 5 legs instead of only 4. Just little tiny things like that, and very few of them. And they say they're worth a lot of money, so to get people looking for and hoarding a lot of the cash and that stuff. And then of course, everybody wanted to try to fill up the books, had these, fancy books and that stuff that you put them in, and you think it's like, oh, I want to collect stuff, because the thing is, we are a society of collectors. Look at our TV shows. We have the hoarder shows and all that kind of stuff that turn around, and people are, what are they doing? They're collecting things. The things will be valuable at some point in time. So there's the same way with the quarters. If I'll get all the quarters from both the Colorado Mint and the Philadelphia Mint, then I'll have this. I'll have something that's worth something at some point. So we got those there, because serious things. There's really not a shortage on the currency per se. You can go online and you can buy the current currency and that stuff, because once again, they're marked as collectibles and that stuff, which there's no actual real value to them, but as I said, it's a way to get the cash and stuff off the streets. Because the serious thing is too, every year that they do say that there are thousands of dollars and stuff of coins and things like that. They get lost, they get discarded, destroyed somehow on accident. So they're counting on a lot of the change going that way. People holding on to it and keeping it. Now, all this plan was put together a long time ago, back when they started the whole dark web thing with Bitcoin. Now, the cryptocurrency, that is going to be the wave of the future. And if you notice, we're not the only economy that's crashing. Okay, the economy was crashed because it was doing, even though I'm not a Trump supporter, it was doing good. Okay, it was starting to pick up, but we couldn't let that. They couldn't let that happen, because they needed the whole world almost to be crippled and that stuff. So in that way, they can the cryptocurrency could become the main currency for the world. So that's what is going on right now with our currency. Because here's things, I've never seen so many like these crypto ATM type things showing up that you can go through and you do mining and stuff. There's all these there's coin apps that you can turn around and you're geo mining. That's all you're doing. You're going there trying to collect it, and then you're trying to build up get so many so you can take and put in a e-wallet, and then turn that in for a couple bitcoins, a couple XYO currencies, and all. There's 4 different main cryptocurrencies and stuff, and that's what they do. So you're basically, but not only are you going around and you're mining, they get you suckered in because especially the Coin app. Coin app has this thing that you turn around and you send them money for the shipping. It's a little like medallion that you put on your key ring. Now this medallion has battery operated, so you change the batteries and it needs to be changed, but it's Bluetooth operated, so it hooks up to your phone when you are doing the Coin app. Now, see right here, I am going to show you the coin. I'm going to show you the Coin app. So I got it on my phone. Give a second here. We got to pull it up. Yeah. So this is what you're doing. You're walking around, and then you turn around. Okay. You see, you got the like this is my current location. That's how they got all this set up. Then it shows you you got a little pickaxe and all that. Now what happens is I hit the pickaxe, and okay, it's going around the thing, and look at that. It's saying that I just mined some coins. It said it's $2.38 right now. That's $2.38, and the thing's resetting. Now this whole little area is my area. What the goal is, they're trying to get you to do is you walk around and then you collect rewards. Like here there's a drop that box there. That right there, more coins. So you're like, oh, get some meat. And that was that's 210 coins right there. So I mean, that's what they're getting you walking. As we look at it, it's all mapped out. The whole goal is they're going to get as many people as they can to be geo mining these coins. It sets up a grid for the new currency, and also so they can watch what everybody's doing. See, I mean, yes, they can watch right now. This is part of the thing that's tied into the 5G network. Okay, they're suffering in because they're like, okay, here's the rewards. Once you get 10,000 coins, you can get the XYO ERC 20 of them. You can get one of the Ethereum Platinum coins, which you get 515,000 of them. You can get 0.025 of a Bitcoin for collecting about 5,000 of them. So I mean, that's how they're doing. They're getting people to walk around and to get to start doing it. And it's mapping this whole entire area in these little spots. Because here's the thing: there is no such thing as off the grid now. Okay, everybody's on the grid. It doesn't matter if you say, I don't go stuff. I don't have these utilities, stuff like that. Back in the day, you could go and just appear off into the woods and that kind of stuff, and not be seen or known about, like Jesse Ventura did for the longest time down south and that stuff, where he would go and he lived off the grid. He had generators, all that kind of stuff. But those things are done. Okay. There's too many. The technology's gotten so much better size and stuff like this here, the geo mining, where you got people just wandering and it's just picking up. You're off of the towers. These areas, just mapping them out, giving them an even better air. I mean, the Google Maps were pretty impressive when they came out. You can go down and get close to them and zoom in and that stuff and see the levels of detail of different things. But this is on a whole new level right here. This is the beginning of more than just tracking and stuff like that. I mean, it's almost, you don't want to say like was it Georgia or Orwellian and that kind of stuff, but it is kind of weird and creepy in a weird sort of way. So there's where the beginning of that part is. Now, this is, as I said before, this can go of multiple different directions of what's going to happen. Okay, the virus shut down the world, shut down the country. Now the problem is, what's making it worse for us is the fact in the United States is the fact that you got some people believing it, some people that don't, and it just goes back and forth. Now, you look at the other countries in the world who got it and it's stuff. A lot of them, they beat it because compliance. Okay, even if they didn't believe, they complied, and you know, and it pretty much wiped it out. We've got too many people who are not wanting to comply. Now, along with that going, it's the bring down and shut down the United States brought things to kind of a weird halt. Okay, now then we have the groups like the Antifa and that stuff. They start coming out and doing the riots and stuff that trying to tag on to the Black Lives Matter, which those protests, and I can attest that the ones that I went to zone, they were peaceful until the Antifa people showed up, and of course the Antifa people they were they were professional rioters that were sent out. Okay, I mean there's no doubt about that. I mean they were there to cause problems. If you watch one of my videos and stuff that I posted on here, you can see I'm at one of the protests, and I walked up to a guy and asked him about his baseball bat. He had a yellow baseball bat, and it's the thing, they carried the baseball bats that were all in black, covering face. So I mean, something was at that time I didn't think about it, and that stuff until later. I got home and that stuff, and it's like, all hell kind of broke loose and that stuff, which was the goal. Now they're turning everything kind of upside down. The whole thing is they're trying, this turn people against each other, okay? Because they did it with the masks. Okay, you have people saying you're sheep if you wear it. The other half saying, they can't make me. It's ridiculous. Whatever. Okay, they don't take science into the account that the masks do help a bit. All right, I mean it's straight out. And it's the mask can it cuts off your oxygen, stuff like that. Well, then doctors, why would they be wearing masks when they do surgeries? It's just we're not going to get into that part. Now let's get into the destruction of America. All right. So the whole goal is to turn the United States kind of into a monarchy. We need like a savior to bring things together. So because they're being so divided. And here's the deal: so if you don't think that the Republicans and the Democrats are in on this together, then you're wrong. Because here we go into a part where with all the racism type stuff that's going on and that stuff today, and now then you get like the people getting upset about the rebel flag. The statues being torn down. They're pitting the people against each other. And then what Trump was what all his comments was, well, it was freedom of speech and stuff to have the Confederate flag. So now you got people on both sides angry. Here's what's going on. The fact that the pandemic is still happening right now. We at the end of this month are going to see a huge spike in their homelessness because the country's still basically shut down. Even though they're saying it's open, there's a lot of businesses, either A, they did not reopen, or B, they didn't hire everybody back because they didn't have the owners need to make some money too, and they couldn't afford to bring everyone back at full pay. So there's still a ton of people right now that are unemployed, and they're going to be losing their houses here soon. Now, along with this, we got the riots and stuff happening. People, all this stuff. I mean, it's like you turn on Facebook, all you see anymore are videos of, and see now this is other things. They purposely put the videos of different races attacking each other. Just because it's the same. They're pushing. There's more and more and more being shown because they're trying to push us to break everybody. Now, the homelessness. What's going to happen is all these suburbs. They're going to become empty. People are going to be kicked out of their houses. They're going to have to go somewhere. They don't want to go into the city. Okay, what they're going to start doing, they're going to start pushing out towards like little country areas, stuff like that, little towns that really don't have anybody that lives in them anymore. Like if you go to Cackley, Kansas, most people I think ever lived there was like 8 people. That was the whole town, 8. So they're going to go into areas like that that have a lot of built, houses and that kind of stuff. But there might be a So, they might be a little dilapidated and stuff, need some work. But the thing is, there's nobody even, living in them. So they're going to, what's going to happen is the user houses, they're going to go out into those areas there. They're going to start communities of like-minded people. Okay. Now, here is where the whole thing we're talking about, the new civil war in the United States. The thing is, it's not going to be like the first the Civil War, which was the North and South. There's not going to be stuff like that. It's going to be a bunch of different areas. Basically, the United States is going to turn into, the states aren't going to break off and be separate countries, but there's going to be territories. They're going to be made just small. We're going to have tons of them, and it's of smaller areas that then they turn around. They put their own borders up. They start trying to take over other areas because, said, you're going to have like-minded people living in these little towns, and they're going to be starting all over, starting their own systems. Now, that's going to cause problem. That's going to be the big fall of the government. That's one thing that they kind of don't want to happen because of the fact that total control is gone. Okay, the United States falls apart like that, then the rest of the world is going to follow behind it. Because the thing is, when it comes to it, the United States, no matter what's going on, is still the leader of the world. In that, we set the tone, we set the pace for everything. That's going to be the total destruction right there of the world. So that's the plan that they don't want to happen. Now, one of the other scenarios is that they turn around. Okay, so they turn around. They find a way to go to one of the things talked about in the second stimulus would be a sending people cards and stuff with money on them and that instead of doing the direct deposit thing. Now, see, that's going to be the beginning also of another type, because that's going to become the official card and that stuff and stuff like debit card that they're going to start pushing to go to use for your cryptocurrency as they start phasing out paper money in that around the world. So you're going to have this ID card with your name and information on it that can be scanned, just like you take a debit card. Hell, you don't even have to run them into the machine, or you just wave it over the top. Hell, you pay with your phone. The thing is, as I said, there's no such thing as off the grid. The grid is everywhere. It is out there. So there is no escape from it whatsoever. Now, just the thing is, it's like, how are we going to handle it? That's the key issue. Are we going to fall apart? Are we going to give in? Now, the thing is, when I say fall apart, I'm not saying that we should cause a revolution against the current government, that kind of stuff. Because one thing is, you're not going to win. They do have they have the weapons and that stuff, but you can only go so far. It depends on, no matter which side you put in, whoever you put in as the president, stuff like that controls the government. There's always going to have to be a lesser of two evils. All right, I know that there's a Johansson, whatever her name is, it's trying to be a third-party candidate and stuff. That she seems to have a lot of support from the, the people who are against Trump, against Biden, and stuff, they're more like, our Constitution's under attack, and those people there, they support her. Okay, and that never happened. Okay. So if a third party wins, it's going to destroy the whole entire thing. Because the thing is, even as corrupt as it is, the country is set up to have a elected government, which in reality it's not really elected. I mean, we're just basically moving monarchs around. I mean, they already know who's going to be who's next in line, stuff like that. I mean, because it's like these, all of a sudden you get the people, all of a sudden they run as president and stuff. And it's like something you never ever heard of before. They've been groomed for quite some time. You might not have been, I mean, Obama was kind of picked out of nowhere. They was going to try something different. I mean, nobody really knew who Barack Obama was until he became a presidential candidate. But they were grooming him that whole time. But they thought the time is now. We need to make a change in, instead of just white guy. They needed to get either female or a person of a minority of some sort in. So that's when that happened. And Jason, you're asking, when do you think all this is going to happen? It's happening right now. I mean, that's the thing is, unfortunately, in this, see, everything ties together. Okay, there's very few people who are in the whole thing. Now, the whole a lot of these people still are tied to like Jeffrey Epstein and that kind of stuff. I mean, you look at Acosta, who's Trump's cabinet and that stuff, was the FBI, the DA, the district attorney, or the prosecuting attorney, I mean, in Florida when the allegations came out against Epstein. What happened? Nothing at all. If you watch the documentary, I mean, you find out a lot of stuff about how that gold standard Judy Shelton is coming on July 21st. Well, Chris, it probably won't be until the 31st, because as I said, at the end of the month, that's when the whole the people they're making a little extra for because their jobs hadn't come back. That's when that goes out. That's when you're gonna have a bunch of people that said they're gonna be losing their houses and losing everything because they don't have the money. Even the people who kept their jobs and stuff through this whole entire time. I mean, they all took pay cuts, major pay cuts. It actually has put them behind the 8 ball. So that's going to be the collapse unless a few of the people who are not in on with the government on what's going on and stuff. They're the ones holding things up. So because they're not part of the bigger picture and that stuff. So they're going more self-interest, which is screwing everyone completely up. So now, rewind a little bit. That's the destruction right there of how the country's going to fall apart. That's just a little bit of a recap I talked about before. As I know that, like last week was the beginning of, all of a sudden last Thursday, the whole Wayfair scandal. The whole, because this was like brand new, just popped out. And I mean, if you look into it, the thing is, I know people are like, "Oh, there's no way." It's like, but if you go look at the SKU numbers on the products, type in SKU hashtag and the number that's on the product, you turn around and then follow with USSRC. It pops up with the name of a child, and that thing matches the product that was on the thing. And it means, there's only so many things that's going to cost some Wayfair over $13,000, stuff like that. And when you have all these different cabinets and pillows and that stuff that are all the same picture, but with a little bit of a different name and price tag on it, well, something is fishy with that. Now, here's the thing. Where do these kids come from is part of the big deal. Now, in Los Angeles, the Child Protective Services, they are known for, they've got one of the highest rates of removing children from their homes. Okay, now you have all these children that are being put into supposedly foster care and that kind of stuff from the Child Protective Services over off the West Coast. But the thing is, where are these kids? And I mean, what shouldn't there be big communities of nothing but foster homes and stuff like that? But no, you're not seeing that. See, that's why that's where they were being kept in. I believe it was San Diego. It was where the oh god, one of the ships and that stuff that let's see, Comfort was taken to New York, but then you had Mercy was taken to the West Coast. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I know that earlier, like Johnny was talking about, this happens. See, now here's things. The tunnels. Okay, there's nearly 100,000 children corpse. See, so they weren't all 100,000. They all weren't alive. There were some were corpse. They were found in the underground tunnels arriving at the Clinton Foundation in New York. So, I mean, we're talking thousands of hungry and terribly abused children. They had been found dead. And then some they were underground, alive. There's pregnant ones, lots of deformities, stuff like that. But those were the ones that were not like, I guess, like the top ones, I guess you could say. They weren't the ones that they were trying to make money off of for the sex trade, stuff like that. But they were keeping them for the androchrome. That is, of course, they. If you don't know what adrenochrome is, of course I know I'm probably screwing up the word. It is it's an immortality serum obtained from the adrenal glands of living children after they have been terrorized to get the highest levels of adrenaline. Okay, it has an LSD-like qualities and it's used in satanic rituals and stuff by monarchs, politicians, congressmen, stuff like that. Now, what they do is they inject it like kind of like a Botox type thing. Now, if you really think about it, this is something that back to the whole, the satanic ritual thing. Back way back. See, now I'm blanking. The female, she was one of the. It wasn't Vlad the Impaler, of course, but it was another one of the people who's that talk about being a vampire and that kind of stuff. She used to bathe in virgin's blood, and every night and stuff. And now it's going to kill me that I cannot even remember the freaking name. I got, we might just have to look that up real quick. So let's see. Let's type in. Let's see. Because as soon as I type it, I'm going to remember it. Then in. What? Let's see. What's the name that comes up? Countess Bathory. How could I have forgotten that? Because she was one. She bathed in blood of 650 servant girls and tortured and murdered them in that. So I mean, she was later convicted of murder and that kind of stuff, and was imprisoned and walled up into her castle walls. But she's the one who turned around and kind of figured some of the stuff out. It's all right. I got a runny nose, my allergies. But so this is something that then turned around and is a practice. It's kept because I mean the thing is when it comes right down to it, it's one of those that like people who practice religion. It's been around forever and that kind of stuff. This was something that is still being practiced today. So anyway, they turn around. They get the children out. Some of the children, of course, are dead. They're not with us, and they turn around and they were found partially eaten by some of the other kids and stuff to keep alive. Now that I know as crazy as that sounds, but they did the mission was to get them out. And they did get a majority of them out from a couple different things that I read. One of them was by Timothy Charles Holmseth. Okay, now here Timothy is an award-winning news reporter and investigative journalist. He's been an FBI witness on national-profile kidnapping cases, and he captured rogue CIA and FBI child traffickers on tape discussing their different operations. He's been targeted for over a decade now. Hold on. I know that's disgusting, but so he's being targeted by some of these people who are into the child trafficking that are in the upper crust of it all, I should say, kind of like back to Acosta that we learned about in the Jeffrey Epstein documentary and seeing what the life thing going on with that. So, anywho, now some of these kids, of course, were also being used for the Wayfair kids. They were some of the tunnels and stuff, and see they were also in bed per se with the whole Epstein stuff because Chislin or whatever her name is, I don't know, Maxwell. She has connections to the guy who's the acting president of Wayfair. So there you have where that comes in. Now I know that Brett writes, well, she was his girlfriend. Was he getting? No, he wasn't. She wasn't recruiting just for Epstein. Okay, I mean she was like the worldwide pimp. I mean, yeah, Prince Andrew and some of these other people and that stuff that you're seeing all of these pictures and things coming out of. She got them and so basically though, because of her connections, her father, you know, they said was like newsman, big time muckety muck over in England, this kind of stuff. They had the ties into the child trafficking. Well at that time it wasn't child trafficking, but it was the child prostitution and that stuff. So she was already on the end. That's why it's like if you look, she could find anywhere. It didn't really matter. I mean, how can one person turn around and find that many different, underage girls and stuff like that to have this go on. I mean, seriously. I mean, we're talking, the numbers are just astronomical in it. All right. So that was basically her job. That's all she did. She did for everybody. She got, so she, of course, being the connections with the president of Wayfair, there's where some of those going. She's selling some through there. I mean, here's things. What is she actually? She really never has done anything. Yes, she does have they said she has an education, that kind of stuff. But I mean, she really hasn't done anything. Now, and also same with the Epstein. He had a lot of money in that stuff from scamming and investments and that. But he was also, I believe, and I'm not saying it's true, but because the court in the case that came out, but I'm sure though that because of Maxwell and his being together, they were a couple for quite a while, that a lot of money, he was making money from her off of stuff that she was doing. So there's where all of that comes and goes. And so now the thing is, we just got to wait to see what is going to happen. Is Maxwell going to make it to court? Is she going to turn in these videos? Because she does have, of course, access to all these videos of high profile people. Because once again, they showed the inside of Epstein's New York apartment. Okay, this guy had places all over the world. All right. And they described, especially one of the victims, described that the room, it was like, there were cameras everywhere. Every corner of the house could be seen. So there are videos of some high, people, celebrities, stuff like that are going to be involved. Now, we gotta wait. Because you see all the time, you see all the stuff of, well, here's this person's involved, this person's involved, this person's involved. And basically, it's just one of those, they're throwing out names and stuff of people who they don't like, they didn't like a movie or whatever, or that, so they're just throwing the name out because that person's a dick. But keep in mind, of course, some of them have slipped out with the pictures and stuff like that, like Prince Andrew. And so now that's just going to be a wait and see game to see where all this goes. Because if she doesn't make it to trial, it's going to get buried. It's going to go away. No one's going. It's just going to be over with. So the chances of her actually making a trial probably pretty slim. Now let's go back into the whole. While that's going on, we got said COVID still here. Now here's where. If you want to know exactly what's going to be happening, where you tell where some of these they're made, right now, if you go through with the whole child trafficking stuff and stuff, on the outside, because they said they do have some of the bigger players. Now they are making arrests. You don't know about these arrests. They're not making them public because what's going to happen is if the names got out, and these are said, some are going to be some pretty medium profile people on these, but there's going to be major repercussion. So here's what's going on. If you watch the news, look at the areas that has a high concentration of COVID cases, big spikes, and we're talking just huge ones. They're just astronomical, just out of nowhere almost. Okay, this is where the arrests are happening. Okay, so the law enforcement and U.S. military, they are going in, like especially Florida. Florida is one of the big ones. Okay, because that's where it seems like a lot of people go to retire, and I'm going to say Mar-a-Lago, because we still see those pictures of Trump and his daughter. Very odd. But hey, anyway, and also, of course, the home of Epstein. A lot of in Florida is kind of one of those always say, "Oh, this is where people just come up from Cuba and stuff like that." Well, they're being shipped in through there. Florida is one of the gateways from other countries into the United States to go through there. So that's why, if you look, there's a lot of stuff. Florida has been almost a hotbed since day one. I mean, I don't think it's ever gone down after the first time because there is actually that many people and arrests and stuff that are going on. So Now, of course, we're just out in Kansas here. Also, we hit a spike. So there's going to be some arrests happening here that we won't hear about it. Some of them we probably never ever hear about, because this is on the level. These aren't the people who are buying, of course, because those are like the major ones, the celebrity stuff like that you would know about. But these are some like the runners and that stuff, the people who are making the deliveries. There's where that's going. So just keep watching where it's going on, because if you notice also, there's been some spikes going up north towards Canada. So we do that because some of these people thinking that they can make a run for Canada. Well, because of extradition and stuff like that, I don't know, but there's movement going that way. It's just kind of an odd shift. So I said, watch where the spikes happen. They'll be there for a while, and then they'll go down. That means that they got the people that they were arresting for the part of the child pedophile rings. So, we covered a lot in a short time. Oh my God. Man, from that, I just almost don't know where to go, because I kind of want to talk a bit. Let's see, what was, oh my God. See, this is what happens whenever I just kind of blanked out on things we covered. I said, man, we did a lot of talking in that short time there. Okay, I did a lot of talking in a short time. But Abigail Wester, I kind of want to get into that a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, it's like we got all the other stuff we were talking about. But Abigail Wester, if that's something at some point we're going to get into. If you don't know about Abigail Wester, Area 51, of course, is highly, one might say insane. Everybody knows Area 51 is highly guarded military, so-called military base, whatever, lockup, whatever, things like that. But see, everybody always wants to associate Area 51 with aliens, all right? Now, here's where the whole Abigail Project hits. Germany, of course, when they defeated Germans and stuff, there's always the talk of the Germans, they were using, the different kinds of surgeries, trying to make like the perfect soldier, things like that, super soldiers, and all these kinds of experiments that were going on. Well, Abigail Wester's father, who was one of the high-ranking scientists and stuff that worked at Area 51, he was trying to continue on the work to try to make like a superhuman. I mean, it's like we've seen but here's the things. It's weird is now. Here's where some stuff I get into too. That we all have seen like Captain America, and I said, how did Captain America become a super soldier? Well, he became one because of the serum that was made, that kind of stuff, and had a little bit like a radioactiveness in it. But see, he used the radioactivity on his daughter Abigail because he wanted to find someone that he could trust. So even though he used her, some people thought it's like maybe he really didn't like her, but no, he really cared deeply for his daughter. Okay, but he used her because he felt that he could trust her. The radiation, all it did was it turned around and deformed her. All right. After a little while, I get she started like aging. You just rapid aging, and her skin tightened up. It started lightening up. Her bones. She started getting bone growth, and it just started like she started becoming less and less human and more of a monster. And she is unrecognizable in that. Nobody did it. So it's going on, and now Abigail's father's trying. Of course, this is the point where he's trying to like save her and that stuff to see if he could turn around. Either make her go from that to the original goal, with the thing, like a super soldier type thing, or can he reverse it and bring her back? Now, during this whole time, he starts struggling with depression, and he just loses it. And bang, winds up committing suicide. So now, that whole western wing in Area 51, even though it's like, how do you know this? Well, it's there's been talk and that kind of stuff. Some people who worked at Area 51 and and that you know they were like not caretakers, but they were basically like the general labor type people and that stuff that did work for there, you know, whether it be maintenance, all the stuff like that, that's, you know, feeding, you know, the monsters and stuff like that. I mean, it's just because there's all different kinds of things and stuff, but there has been some things that slipped out. So now we go along that there they sealed off that whole entire wing. It's just and now when they did that, what did they do? The U.S. government just ignored it, and they said, the thing is, right now they don't know what's going on. They don't know whether Abigail's still alive or not, because the cage originally, the reason though they sealed it was they say that she did break out of the original cage she was in, and she's out of hunger she ate a couple of the guards and that, and then that's when they sealed off this whole area of Area 51 sign being used anymore. So that's something that I like getting to another time, because there's so much to that story, but it's just like we can't. I don't really want to jump from one thing to the other, kind of like I did. But so, see if I have any questions. Where do we go from here? What's going to happen next? I don't know. I do not know. Now, it does. So once again, it comes down to, it doesn't matter if the Democrat or Republican wins. That just still keeps control of what some people call like the New World Order or stuff like that. That keeps them in control, and it will somewhat keep a path from. I think the thing was that they did the shakeup. Of course, was if you go through the things, shaking the things up was Trump. Okay, again, they put Trump in, kind of shook things up, and that's what started to turn the country against each other. Now, along with this stuff, I mean, there's just so much going on. It's hard to say. It's hard to say this is the exact thing, and this is, that these things don't intersect. All this stuff intersects together. That's why it's so hard to talk about time. Because if you really look at things, now, one, I said, they're getting rid of, they're crashing the economy, the world economy, and to go to a cryptocurrency, a worldwide currency, only one currency for the whole entire world. They're trying to make, they're going and, like some people say, that they're looking at, to kind of erase, keeping track where every single person is, making you get rid of your identity. Now, here's where the other part of that comes in, because, okay, so when the Black Lives Matter stuff, protests started happening, and they brought in Antifa to cause the riots. So now you got that going on. Now, on the other side of all this, it has nothing to do with any of the protests or riots. If you think about it, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we go from having two genders. Sorry, I know this is running. My allergies are killing me. Do you think Trump was a great president or just a good one? I don't think he really was anything of a president. Seriously, deals. The president really is, to me, is a puppet. I mean, when it comes right down to it, I said they know who's going to put. There is a control of the people being put in that. So he was brought in to turn around Jason, I believe, just to shake it up to get to this part here, because think about everything that's going on. Okay, even a few years before he became president, we go from two genders, all right? And first off, I'm going to say this here. I don't care what you say you identify as, your sexual orientation, your sexuality, or any of that kind of stuff. I could care less, all right? I don't dislike anybody for anything, except for I just only dislike people if they act like an asshole. And that's it. That's the only way I'll hate somebody. So I don't care. But here is the thing, is it's being pushed onto people and pushed into this whole, we got about, making sure the feeling, it's hard to say, because it's like, because it's one of those, it's like, okay, you have your two genders. Now all of a sudden, though, then you start having all this other stuff like, cis male, cis female, uh, everything. I mean, I'm not even sure. You get transgender, transvestite, trans cis, whatever. I mean, there's so many. So now the whole thing's that now they're pushing a language onto you. So when you see like a group of people, instead of saying, say, hey guys, but those guys over there, you say they. You don't identify as a female or males. You just, and you don't even actually say person. They want, the proper word is human. So, as I said, it's one of those slowly, along with all these words and stuff, because they're trying to push the agenda of make you not believe. It sounds crazy when you say make you not believe you know who you are. They are kind of getting you to do that. They're turning to a your identification. You're just gonna. It's like you're gonna just be identifying as another human, not male, not female, but another human, not even a person. So if you look at it, it's crazy. It's like there's this long list of what they call the proper words to use and that stuff. Matt, let's see if we can get that real quick. See, proper, I decided enter identity word. I don't know. Like I said, I could care less, but it's just confusing. These are terms that identity terms that it says you need to know, and it's. Because we went through all the. Gender fluid, gender non-binary. It's just like I don't get it. God, that's not even the whole list. Wow. I don't even know what even to type in because I see it on Facebook. You see some of the people and that stuff that it's pretty correct terms. I just don't know. But at times it's enough. Now it's not even that. It's enough at times to just make you want to give up, and that's what the part of it is they want to drive you completely insane with it. Because some people are going to comply and jump into, hey, it's the year 2020. I can go along with this here. Everybody has to feel good about themselves, and so they go into the whole, not identifying someone as a male, female, or a human or any that kind of stuff. But then everybody else though, it's going to be push till the point that you give up. You don't even know what to even think anymore. So you go. It just becomes like an automatic, To see with Jason. But why, if they look like a lady, they're a lady? If they look like a guy, they're a guy. Plain and simple. You see, and I agree with that too. Because it's like even if someone had a sex change, let's say that a guy had a sex change, became a female, looks like female, lives as a female, or even if they didn't have the sex change, but every day they live as a female, they dress as female, you'd look at them and they act like a female, they present themselves as a female. To me, I would think female, but that's not even right, because there's whole, I said, you have terms like gender queer, all these, they're just out of nowhere, and it's hard to explain. I cannot. It's hard to remember all of them because there's just too many of them. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's a mind game that's being put in by some of the special interest groups that are trying to go and break things down for, so that way it's a way of control. Instead of just going simply, I know back in the day, conspiracy theories always were like, they're putting the stuff in, in the food and the water, stuff, to go and to start taking over to mind control. No, they're actually using the whole entire just mental break. If they can mentally break you, you'll submit. So there's where all that is coming from. So So if you think about it, we're either way when it comes down to it, we're not going to be doomed per se. Well, Jason, I don't know what part you think's all bullshit. All the identities, or because I lost me on that one there. But I mean, this is just what it is. It's always going to be there. There's going to be. If you really can't, everybody's like, "Oh, we're free. Well, no, we're really not, because as long as there's laws, having to use all correct. See, I agree with you on that, all the correct terms, because the thing is, it's hard to know the correct terms when you don't know. When you got a guy in a dress but has a beard, and that, I mean, you're not trying to live as a female, because if you're trying to live as a female, you wouldn't present as one, you would not have a beard. So I don't know. I agree with that too. It should be ones, if as long as you're not being a dick, you should be able to shouldn't offend anybody if they turn around and you say, "Man," call someone ma'am or sir and that kind of stuff, and be wrong because all you thought that, but you weren't being a dick. You made a mistake. That should be fine, but of course that doesn't work anymore. But now the thing is, have we always been freaking done? Because if we're really truly free, then we wouldn't have laws and things like that. And I know that these laws and law are supposed to have common decency, but common decency went out the window a long time ago, so they have to be enforced. So everybody can talk about that's in the Constitution, I'm free. Well, here's the thing is about the Constitution. One, your freedom of speech only to a point, because yes, you can say what you want to say, unless of course then you turn around and you work in media, stuff like that, would say you can't say this, you can't say that. There's really, in a way, or a lot of times, if there's a news story that comes out and they don't want it to be reported because, that's a sponsor for our company, and that'd make them look bad. So there's really no freedom of speech per se. The illusion of it's there. The whole, guns. They're never going to take the guns. Okay, they're doing the whole thing with, we're trying to control guns. It's never going to happen. So that's one of the things that the Constitution. The things, they're not making a right to bear arms, because they are doing something to limit some like the whole. If you've been in a psych ward, stuff like that, not having a gun, which of course to me that's common sense. But if you really want to get nitty gritty down, poke at everything and tear it all apart, that would be controlling. Let's see, what else Jason got saying here? Man, Jason just went on a tirade here. True, that is what we all should be, naked like the day of born, LOL. They can take my gun out of my cold, dead hands. Well, I said, they're not going to take your guns, Jason. They're not taking your guns. So, oh my God, but if you go through all the things, there's just so much. It's just like, here's the truth is, freedom of religion. That's not even a real, there's really no freedom of religion either. Once again, there's an illusion of it. But, when it comes right down to it, it's what is the official of religion per se? You would go and you would say, Christianity based. And here's the thing is now, and this actually happened in Kansas City, and at a popular gun store in KCK, a Muslim female who is a U.S. citizen went in to look at guns, and I guess that just didn't go over so well because she was Muslim, and these guys are all we're selling guns, Christian. So that kind of gets rid of some of the freedom. It's like, okay, we're taking the prejudice of of them, someone practicing their own religion, and then and turn around and hell, if there's really a whole freedom of religion thing, why does everybody get so upset about if someone practice, say, I'm a Satanist, stuff like that, and it's like all of a sudden, they're deemed as bad, because it's like it's an illusion. It's all an illusion. And the thing is, it's something we've been fed all of our entire lives and stuff, and we're still expected to kind of buy into it. But the truth is, as the world has progressed and stuff, there's just no there's just no room anymore for just average people. We're going to go back to, this is also one of the reasons, and this is something I thought of before too, that one of the other reasons all this stuff is happening. And now we're going to go into, here's the alien stuff, okay? Hybrid aliens have lived amongst us for a while, okay? We went from not being able to do anything to going to the moon, to all these advances, to these little tiny computers we can hold in our hands just within years. I mean, we're talking advances just light years ahead of where we should be. But it's because of, it's not there's aliens walking amongst us, hybrids. Now, how do we know who the hybrids are? They're all over. They're going to be all over the place. You really not. The biggest thing is, who's been the biggest contributors to the world? Elon Musk. All right, here's a guy who extremely smart, has done a lot of things, and just has thrown it out. He's thrown this technology out there for people to use. Steve Jobs, yes, Steve Jobs. Bill Gates. What's the thing is, I happen to have a Mac computer. If you don't have a Mac, which would be a Steve Jobs thing, you would have a regular computer, and you'd have Windows, which is Bill Gates. So there's all your operating systems are ran by a couple people, basically, invented by these people, and they're the ones who that knows the ins and outs that put it together. No one else saw about this. They did it. Now, if you go back further than them, think of some of the people that have been the smartest people you think of in the world. Of course, once again, I'm blanking the goddamn name. In a wheelchair, physicist. God damn it! See, this on the fly like this. I cannot. I'm blanking his damn name. Oh my god. No, see, Albert Einstein would not, Jason. I wouldn't think that he would be one, because the thing is, most of his stuff, the majority of his stuff was stolen ideas, because he worked in a patent office, and it was kind of like the whole thing between Tesla and oh my god, see, now I'm blanking that guy's name too. That he stole all the Thomas Edison and Tesla. The whole thing is like Edison. If you go through all of his stuff, the majority of the stuff's never his. He took a lot of other people's things and did a little bit of changing on some of the things, but they weren't his things. It's like and as soon as I freaking pull up, I know it's gonna pop up. Stephen Hawking. See right there. So I'm having freaking these brain farts of what it is that I'm trying to pop out. But Stephen Hawking, yeah, he'd be one. See, now he would be. I would think that's about when a lot of the hybrids started. That is why I would think he'd be one of the original ones. Because I mean, look what happened. Okay, your first copies usually you have a lot of bugs that need to be fixed, and then boom. Yeah, I know, Jason. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. But we wound up going into a weird little spiral backwards, repeating some of the stuff, because as I said, it all adds together, and you just had to put this one because we talked about the other theory of what is going to happen. But this was the like plan C of things of. Are we gonna fall apart? Is the whole United States gonna burst into tons of different little territories, almost like Wild West style? But in seeing it all goes through the crash of the economy, the coin shortage, or cash shortage, to say, the changing to cryptocurrency, the whole child sex trafficking thing, because once again, the powerful people are the ones that are doing it, and there's a lot of exposure that's getting popped out on them, and that's bad for them because they're the ones that are basically controlling everything. So it all ties together in a really fucked up sort of package. Anyway, that I know that was one of the craziest freaking ones yet, but there's just so many more that to get into. Because I said you got that. What about the Illuminati? Well, you see, the thing is, the Illuminati. It's everybody wants to say Illuminati, but the thing is, the Illuminati actually is a. It's not. It's more of a. How should we say? Like a mythical organization, that kind of stuff. The people that was put together to turn and divert, like a scapegoat of why things are this way and that, because there always has to be some sort of a bad guy, a boogeyman, things like that. So if things were out of control, it's like the Illuminati. Now that was the name that's given to it. Is there Illuminati? It's not really called Illuminati. It's more of a it is a small control. There were more into science than anything else. That is true, yes. But the thing is, it's all about though. I said those control, and Illuminati said they were put there. There's a term thrown out to make it look like this is the reason. This is we have to have that bad guy. It's like right now, it's just like the whole. If you took that, it could be turned in anything like saying that the whole. For years, people are saying immigrants are coming up taking the jobs. Well, no, they were taking the jobs that nobody wanted, like working in fields and things like that. But we had to have a bad guy, so we had to have somebody to blame stuff on. So there's where the whole idea of an Illuminati came in. Now look at the people that also that they say were where it all began to. A lot of it was you had social clubs and that kind of stuff, because yes, you did have the difference between the I guess you could say a working class and a rich class, I guess if you call it, and stuff. And towards the two, they're not really together and that kind of stuff. So it was kind of looked at the working class people just kind of looked like they're being shut out. There's all these people, powerful rich people, were doing all having their little secret meetings and that stuff, talking about different things, even if it wasn't stuff important, but nobody knew that. They didn't know what was going on. So it became one of those downtrodden. Everybody, they wanted to blame the problems. This is this way here. I'm not making money because of the Illuminati, Skull and Bones, stuff like that. So it's just an odd, a little bit of almost like a play, I guess you could say. I mean, does it exist? Yes and no, but. So, along with that, let's see. I'm hoping, God, I keep talking about going to this. It's one of the trips. I've done some trips and that stuff, but I want to go. It's in Hiawatha, Kansas. There is a monument and that stuff. Actually, it's a grave and stuff. A little monument that. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, date back. But see, Jason, you got to remember though, you had the two different classes, the working class and the non-working class. There's always been the two different groups. I mean, it's a dates back then, but it's just like Bigfoot. How many years is Bigfoot? Bigfoot's been around forever. I mean, there's some, things like that. They're always going to be there, and that stuff is just passed down. It's like a fairy tale, But no, in Hiawatha, Kansas, there's this monument that this guy, basically, the whole thing was, guy married into his family, had a lot of money. They hated him. The wife, his wife died, and he inherited a bunch of money. And to get back at them, he built this insane monument. I mean, all the money just blew it on this monument. So that way, because the family was gonna try to get it, but he didn't want them to have it, so just out of spite, he just blew it all, building this crazy funeral monument thing. So we're gonna go see that. The world's largest goose is not that far from here either. Just a bunch of fun things, but no, man. Uh, and we're just going to kind of wait some of the stuff out, because I said it's going to. I give it to the end of this month. Is when we're going to see what else is going to happen. What else is there that's being covered up? And how is everything going to go down? If the 15th the 31st comes along, and there's no, as we say, a second stimulus package, we are going to start seeing, I believe, that's when America does fall apart, because we are going to see like a whole entire group of people, just out on the streets, stuff like that. It's almost like that movie Robot Jocks. So, where it's just like society, it's like all those things, like everything you think about, it's like, God, think of all those movies and stuff where society is falling apart and crumbled. We are crumbling right now. And it's just one of those, what's going to be the part that happens. So, well, that is all the craziness I can get without going too far over, because man, Jason, I know we're talking about the one part, a couple weeks ago, but it just all ties in together. There's no one conspiracy theory that does not at least go hand in hand with another one. I really don't think that thing's going to pass. Plus, they're only wanting to get the people making under $40,000 a year. I know. I'm seeing that's, and there's one of the deals is it per? They don't really explain it. That whole $40,000 a year. Is that per household or is that per person? Because if it's per household, basically no one's gonna. Very few people will qualify at all. If it's per person, that'll give leeway where some people will. There'll be some households that'll get something, but you think it's per household? Nobody's going to get it. There's going to be very few people who are going to get that, because I think combined households and stuff, unless you're a single household, you're pretty much not going to. 40,000 is a very, very, very low number. But the thing is, it's at least like a stake per se, held out to give you the whole hopes that something's going to happen. So, and I said that's going to be right there. If they get it passed and it's 40,000, I do believe that I think the whole economy, the cryptocurrency thing is going to be where it's going to go. All right, because there'll be some people who will be helped out with the money if it's under 40,000. Said very few. But it shows that, hey, they're trying to do something. But that's when, as I said, with the coin apps and all that stuff going on, and all the different mining, crypto mining, things that you get on your phone now, getting all the stuff to earn and make the bitcoins and the XYO and ERC and all that stuff. People are going to start going that direction, and that's going to be what helps push the whole destruction of actual money in your hand. They're almost got it done anyway. I mean, seriously, how much? Not a lot of people use money anymore. They use their card. They use your bank. People have money in their accounts, but they don't really. It's just a number in a computer, and this is going to be the final thing. That if they pass it, I think it'll go that way. If they don't pass it, I think you're going to turn around and you're going to have a bunch of, even if they pass it, it'll be people pissed off, and that's why they'll go the other direction of going to the cryptocurrency. But if nobody gets it, that's when we're going to see the whole falling apart, people being thrown out, and to start seeing separation, separatist, militia type things being set up, popping up here and there, communities of like-minded people, almost going back to the good old days type thing. But that's when I think those are going to be the two things. What's going to happen on 31st? That is going to decide, I think, the fate of basically mankind, the planet, all that. So, Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Watched and enjoyed. I tell your friends about this. Also, yeah, please subscribe to the channel. I said there's more stuff. I got some old stuff on videotape that I got to get turned into digitalization, whatever, and that's going to be on. There's going to be a bunch more content coming here soon, and we'll talk more crazy conspiracies. We're going to start going. Actually, we're going to make this. If something comes up, a news theory or something odd, we're not going to wait for Friday. We'll always have the Friday, but you know, if you subscribe, you'll know, because you'll hit things like, hey, there's a new video. So more rants to come and more fun, and I will see everybody next week. So it's good talking to you too, Jason, and everybody else that got on. Tell your friends, subscribe.